Hello, beautiful Cancer. Welcome to your 2025 extensive Astro Tarot reading. I am Elena Valdez, and I'm so happy to have you here today. This is a special reading because I will be incorporating the 12 houses of the zodiac. Each house represents a specific theme in our lives, and so I will be incorporating tarot with those themes to better organize and give a more in-depth reading. So let's get going. We're going to get started, beautiful Cancer, with the overall energy for 2025. Please adjust gender, how it best resonates for you. And yeah, and this is going to be longer, Cancer. This is going to be a longer reading than your usual monthlies, okay? So you've been warned. All right, with overall energy for the sign of Cancer for 2025. And I will explain each house as we go along. Overall energy, there we go. The Sage of Swords. You're going to be learning a lot in the themes of communication. The Sage of Swords is also about rekindling communication if you've had any estrangements here. But more importantly than that, it's just the overall willingness to learn new things, to be intellectually stimulated, but also to be focused on communicating and communicating well and learning how to communicate well. So this is also can sometimes talk about social media and influencing on social media. So there may be some of you here who are thinking about going into that realm of communicating, being a bit more out and center in terms of like maybe becoming an influencer in whatever it is that you focus on or specialize in. But more importantly, this is just about communication, becoming better at it, learning more about it. For some of you, this can be about languages, learning a new language, a new way to communicate, a new way to speak. I get the sense that for some of you too, there's an importance of learning how to maybe slow down the cadence or speed up the cadence. All right, let's get started. We're going to get started here. We're going to organize the reading first. Oh, hang on. This is for Cancer. Okay, we've got the first house, the second house, the third house, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, let's see what we got here. And again, I will explain what each house represents. Please make sure to hit that like button, beautiful Cancer, as well as subscribing. That would be absolutely wonderful and greatly appreciated. All right, so there we go. There are our 12 houses there. Okay, so beautiful Cancer. Our first house here, the first house is the I am. This is you. This is also about actions that we take with our physical body. It's also our outlook in life. It is the first impression that we make upon others. And for you, for the year of 2025, you have the Sun. That is an exceptional card to start your reading with. This means that you're going to be open. You're going to be open. This is a bit of a more extroverted card. I know that scares some of you introverts out there. But this is a year where you will feel freer in expressing who you are, giving love, receiving love, but also this is very creative, Cancer. So there's a creative emphasis for you here this year for 2025. And then you have the Hanged Man. This can also be a very spiritual thing that's happening for you. This is, remember, also the first houses of our physicality. So this could be about health and vitality, having more energy this year. And also, before taking action in any realm, really pausing to think and pausing to weigh and look at everyone's point of view and how people will be affected. So it seems that for 2025, beautiful Cancer, you're going to have this approach of let everyone be happy. I just want to be happy. And I'm going to really take into consideration other people's perspectives. This is also an indicator before moving forward in any way, really making sure that you are authentic in whatever direction you're moving towards. In other words, this is not a year that you're going to take action because other people need you to take action. This is a year that you're going to take action only if something brings you happiness, if it speaks to your heart, but also there's a consideration here, not just to your point of view and your needs, but what others need, but not in a way where you'll compromise your happiness. This is going to be beautiful to see this year, my awesome Cancer. Okay, let's move on to the second house. And the second house here is about our income, the income we earn, our value system, our self-esteem, the things we hold valuable, the things that we put value into, whether it's time, money, our investment, our personal resources, right? But more importantly, self-esteem and self-worth. This is beautiful. You're working hard. So what you find valuable in 2025, Cancer, is going to be hard work, but not any kind of hard work. This is hard work in the things that you are inspired by. This is about working on our craft that has meaning. This is about building legacy. This is about focusing on things and learning things. In other words, the things that you'll find valuable this year are hard work into areas that are meaningful, not just for the sake of work. Beautiful Cancer, not with the Eight of Pentacles there. And then with the Sun too, right? And then you have the Three of Wands. So this is interesting because this is about journeying into situations that have to do with our expansion, whether it's intellectually, physically. This could be about finding value and working hard on a new hobby, on traveling, on expanding in a new language. I keep hearing new language with this one for you here in the second house. In other words, your value system for 2025 and your self-esteem and your self-worth, Cancer, is going to come from hard work, but also balancing that with a hobby that makes you feel, that brings you confidence. There's something about doing something inspiring, focusing on something inspiring and working hard towards it that makes you feel confident. And that's where you're putting effort and value, and it's like it's something that inspires you, beautiful Cancer. This could be travel. I keep hearing foreign language. I keep hearing that. I keep hearing travel and foreign language and working hard towards learning that. All right, and then we have the third house. The third house is the house of communication, the house of siblings. It's also our neighbors, our neighborhood. It can talk about social media, marketing, communication of all sorts. You have the Five of Cups. So this can indicate maybe feeling isolated or maybe a bit disconnected from either a neighbor, a neighborhood, siblings. Maybe there's someone here that you haven't communicated with in a while that you'd like to communicate with, that you miss. This card can also come up when we're traveling, when we're away, because remember, the third house is also travel, but it's not foreign travel. The third house is short distance travel. So it can be being disconnected from people because maybe work here, what we hold valuable, is keeping us away, right? Because this can be traveling to do a hobby or traveling to learn something new here in the second house. And so there's an essence here of missing something or someone. You could be missing your neighborhood, again, like I said, or a classmate, a sibling, someone that means a lot to you, right? That's close, like a family member. This is not lovers or love affairs. This is like close family members, okay? Let's see what we have here. And you have the Emperor. So for some of you, this could be an Aries that maybe has moved away from you or that you have moved away from. It can also be about, you know, taking leadership in a new company or in the areas of communication, kind of necessitating you to be away from maybe someone you care about or a community. There's a level of missing and longing. It's not depressing though. The Five of Cups, I know it looks depressing, beautiful Cancer, but it's not depressing. It's longing for, and it is missing, definitely. And so I think there's an Aries involved here, potentially a Taurus also with the Emperor. So you could maybe be away from an individual throughout 2025. Maybe they're away. Maybe there's something here. There's a reason for that, right? Again, third house is short-term travel. So it could be something you're doing in your business that has you away, maybe from home in your neighborhood, right? That comes up here in 2025. All right, and the fourth house is the home we live in, our ancestry, our lineage. Sometimes it's the topics of our mother or a nurturing parent, one of the parents. Also, it's about memories of childhood, lineage, but more importantly, it's the home we live in. And you got the Queen of Cups. It's a beautiful card to get there. That means that wherever you're living, you're finding a lot of emotional satisfaction here in 2025, but also there's a spiritual element here. There's a nurturing element. There's a not only a spiritual satisfaction here, but this is a creative satisfaction, an emotional satisfaction, and you feeling in that element because, you know, this does represent Cancerian energy as well. And this is the fourth house, the original rulership of the fourth house, or the original association of the fourth house is Cancer. So you're in alignment here with your own energies, what this is saying. Like you're following your own essence. Let's get another card there. And the Hierophant. And part of the reason why you may be finding this emotional success here or satisfaction is because something or someone. Number one, the Hierophant can really symbolize commitment, right? So this can indicate that you have found a new level of commitment with someone you live with in your home. This can also be real estate, purchasing real estate, because the Hierophant does symbolize roots and it does symbolize stability and concreteness. So this could indicate finding the home that you love and that you feel good and safe in here, beautiful Cancer. This can also indicate stability, structure, and consistency with your maternal relationship. So whether you as a mother or your relationship with your mother or someone that symbolizes a nurturing maternal care towards you. But in any case, this is beautiful energy to have in the fourth house, especially considering you're associated with the fourth house, the Hierophant and the Queen of Cups. This is beautiful. The Hierophant is traditionally the ruler or associated with the Taurus, the sign of Taurus. Okay, so that can mean something to you. It came up here, although this is more associated with Aries, but it does sometimes also indicate Taurus. But now you have it here. So either way, it could be Aries or Taurus. Okay, so fifth house. Fifth house is the house of creativity. It's the house of our children. It's also the love affairs, our lovers, and not marriage or anything, not long-term commitment, more like the joy of dating, right? Like the dating phase, the early stages of romance. This is creativity. This is the businesses we own, the leisure, the fun, the joy, the habits, the sports we do just for fun. And you have the Eight of Cups. So there is something, either for some of you, it can be either you have children, grown children who are moving away. Maybe they're going to college. Maybe they're moving away, getting married. For others of you, you could be moving away from your children, potentially moving away from a creative project, leaving a business that we started behind, leaving a creative behind, even leaving a romance behind, a love affair. walking away from it. But this is a peaceful walking away, because you see how she's walking away into the ray of the sun here? She's walking into possibilities, right? She's going away from dark to light. So this is not like a harsh walking away. It doesn't mean that you may not feel it. Maybe this is why we have this here. Maybe there is some kind of movement that happened in your neighborhood. And so because of that moving, whether it's from you or someone else moving away from you, there's an indication that we must move on, right? But it's for good reason. So yeah, I think some of you are just moving away from either a creative project or a business to expand elsewhere. For others of you, a lover to expand elsewhere. For others of you, it's your children moving on and upward. Maybe they're, you know, moving to a different country or learning some, going to college, right? So it's not, doesn't feel heavy. It just feels like the next level of something. And then you have the Knight of Cups. Ooh, so some of you are moving away from a romance because you've met someone else, because there is someone else. This can also actually indicate moving away, because you see, we're coming in from the 4th house, right? We're coming to the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. It could indicate you quite literally leaving a family home, something that's very comfortable because you've gotten engaged here with the Hierophant, or you've gotten married, and so now you're moving away with the Lover, right? And we'll see in the 7th house if that tracks. For others of you, it may not be marriage. It may just be simply meeting somebody that has, you know, opened up your heartstrings here. But the Knight of Cups can also indicate creative ventures, right? So this could be about moving away from one hobby, one creative thing that you've enjoyed, one business, to move into something else that's more inspiring, that's more uplifting for you. Okay, and then we move into the 6th house. The 6th house. The 6th house is about routine. It's about our health. It's about the way we organize our life, our nutrition. It's our day-to-day work, because it has to do with organization, right? And our routine. But also this can give us some indication on service, the service we give. And you got the World. You know, the World is an interesting card, because it can indicate quite a few things. We're going to get into it. But in the 6th house, remember, we got to keep it to the theme of the 6th house, which the 6th house is routine first and foremost. Yes, it's health. Health is also the big theme of the 6th house. But when we speak of routine, and when we speak about the work that you do, or the routine of your job, again, it could be that many of you are traveling for work. Remember, we saw it here, some form of potential travel, being away from, right? So some of you could be dealing, and we're going to see in the House of Foreigners if it tracks there too. But some of you will be traveling as your routine for your job, because the 6th house indicates the routine of your job too. But with the World there, I like it because it also indicates good health, right? Like coming full circle with what our body needs. And look how energetically balanced this person's body is. It's like all of her chakras are in line, and she's being divinely protected there by that sacred geometry around her physicality. So this is a twofold message. This is, yes, your physicality here in 2025, your health looks vibrant. It looks great. But it also indicates some form of happiness being around other cultures, learning from other cultures. Like a routine has something to do with expansion. And expansion usually comes from traveling, from learning how other people do things, culturally, people who are different from us, that kind of thing, right? And then you got the Ace of Cups. That's about love overflowing. That's about creativity overflowing. Again, it's also good health. This is also a good omen for good health, beautiful Cancer. This is about sharing ideas in your day-to-day routine. So some of you could be moving into an environment where it's accessible, it's easy to flow with other people, it's easy to share your ideas, and you're being received well. You're being received well here, Cancer. All right, let's move into, you know, I want to back up a little bit because I think the reason you're, again, there's a recurring theme here: movement, growth, missing someone, potentially moving away from someone or something, but then there's love indicated here. And again, we have a double indication of potentially traveling, moving for the reasons of love or creativity. So I do think that some of you are, maybe you're even just traveling, right, with your person, the person that inspires you, the person you love. That could be another thing too, that you're traveling with them and you're expanding together, you're growing together. All right, so we move into the 7th house now, and the 7th house is all things related to relationships. It could be business partnerships, it can be the relationships you have with your clients. Definitely marriage lives in the 7th house, but also divorce and also contractual agreements, because that is the crux of the 7th house, is agreements, whether they are verbal or written. And this is why marriage and divorce live in the 7th house, but also it can indicate just all sorts of partnerships, one-on-one, the people that you work with closely. And you have the Hermit. Again, another card indicating that, you know, you may be there, you may have some moments here where you're needing to isolate a bit, or maybe you're having to go inward a bit, or being a bit more alone in the areas of partnership. And it could be because, again, you're working, you're traveling, you're doing something that will not always include another person. But let's see, let's get another card here. It also indicates that you may be coming across to other people, beautiful Cancer, as someone who's self-isolating. This is not a negative card, by the way. This is just about being in our own world because we want to reflect. You know, we want to be a hermit. There are times we want to do that, right? And Cancerians, I know you understand this, because that's actually something very, very much needed in Cancerian energy. Like, you need to unplug and become a hermit, not return every phone call that comes in, right? And so you may be needing to unplug quite a bit here in 2025 because you're doing more, right? You're outside of the home more often this year. So it makes sense that when you are home, you're not into partnerships or, you know, contacting your friends or your buddies or, you know, all of that. But let's get some more information on that. The Hermit can also indicate being very detailed, right? It's associated with Virgo. So it could be about being very detailed in the contracts you make and making sure not to bind yourself to something unnecessarily with the 8 of Swords. There is an encouragement here to look at the fine line, the fine print when it comes to contracts here. But you will, because the Hermit it's natural for the Hermit, being that it's you know, because you're researching behind the scenes. This could be researching on whether or not to get into a partnership with someone, reading the fine line. I'm also hearing, for those of you who are entering prenuptial agreements, postnuptial agreements, you may have a moment here in 2025 that you really are reflecting whether or not something's beneficial for you. This can be in the area of business partnerships too. Maybe being offered something. This could be in the area of your clients too. Okay, let's move into the 8th house. The 8th house is one of the hidden houses, one of the water signs, one of the water houses, along with the 4th and the 12th. It's a highly psychological home. It talks about sex, rebirth, death. It also speaks of the areas where we feel, you know, where we are, the things that scare us in life, but also it's about other people's resources. So the money we owe, the money we receive from others, whether it's their time, their valuable knowledge, all sorts of resources from other people. But mainly it's about topics of merging and intimacy with others. And you have the Tower. So this can mean a couple of things, Cancers. First and foremost, it can mean that you are completely revamping how you receive resources from others. Maybe some kind of financial support that you once received, whether it was a loan, because lenders also live in the 8th house. The IRS, matters of taxes, matters of, even, in this case with the Tower, it can mean like something that was once merged, maybe in a partnership, business partnership here with the 7th house, has come apart or will need to come apart. You may just decide to disintegrate that, right? To completely fall off of some kind of connection that you had. Oh, and with the Lovers, that's Gemini. And that's about choices too. So the reason that you may want to leave a partnership here in terms of the resources, this can be like a funder, somebody who has funded your business, maybe somebody who has funded you in the past. But with the card of Gemini here, with the Lovers card, I know it looks really hot and sassy. And yes, for a group of you, this can be, because it's the 8th house of intimacy, it can mean that some intimate connection, some merging with another, comes apart and changes, or comes in so rapidly, unexpectedly, and really uproots your psychology when it comes to intimacy. Remember, it's sex and rebirth and death. That's the 8th house. So it's like something or someone coming in so rapidly, really making you question. This is like the 8th house. You don't do anything lightly in the 8th house. Whatever happens in the 8th house is intense, right? It's not like mild. It's not like the 7th house. It's not like this. This is intense internal psychological turmoil with Tower. And it's almost like a disruption that comes because we either meet someone with the Lovers that uncovers a feeling or a need or a void that we may have that we didn't know we had, and completely kind of destroys, right? Like how we've been living life up until that point, because we're like, what? It also symbolizes having to make a choice between two paths. And again, we have to consider everything that the 8th house indicates. It's psychology, it's the house of the occult, it's the house of death and rebirth, it's the house of sex and intimacy, it's the house of other people's resources. So this can also mean giving up resources from one path to go a different path, right? Like giving up, let's say, alimony because we've now decided we want to marry someone else, or because we've met someone else, or, of the like. Obviously, it's going to be different for all of you here, but I think you get the picture. All right, so let's move into the 9th house. The 9th house is the house of foreign land, foreign languages. It's also the house of higher learning. It's where we go to teach what we know, where we are the masters of any particular thing that we are good at. But it is about higher learning first and foremost, and also foreign lands, foreign languages, foreign people. And we got the Chariot. So you, again, this is the card of movement forward, and it does also represent Cancer. You may be going to a foreign land. You may be moving towards a foreigner. A foreigner can be someone that you are with romantically, someone that you're going into business with, a new friend. But with the Chariot there being your card and being in the driver's seat, beautiful Cancer, in the 9th house, either A, you have started a new program of higher learning, education. B, you are leading curriculum somehow. You're teaching something that you're really good at. Or C, you are quite literally traveling into foreign land. Again, we saw the world here. That's also travel, cultures, expansions of culture. You have a 3 of Wands. It's another movement card. You have the 8 of Cups. That's another moving away and towards. So yeah, I think you're going to be traveling quite a bit here. Let's get some more on that 9th house for Cancer. And you have the 5 of Wands. So this is about working with a group of people that are helping you expand. It may feel a little challenging though at times, and it may feel competitive even. And in fact, you may be wanting to improve or do this higher learning or this teaching, whatever this is for you, or this moving abroad, because someone or a group of people is challenging you or almost pushing you and encouraging you to do this. You might be teaching a class to foreigners or in a foreign land, Cancer, because someone else thought you should be doing. It's almost like this challenge, right? But it's also about bringing out your own competitive side here and knowing that you'll be maybe amongst other like peers and competitors in this realm. I see this pop up a lot when there is like higher learning involved, right? Or like where you have to defend a thesis, or you have to, it's like, this is like defending a thesis. So for some of you, you are like you're graduating from something, you're doing something, but it can also be just working with foreigners or other people that are challenging, right? Because sometimes there's like a language barrier there. And so working with that energy, but either way, it's actually fueling into your movement. So it's positive energy, even though you may not think it's positive, Cancer. You may feel like, why are they such pain in the asses, right? Like, why are they however they're being, right? All right, let's move into your 10th house. This is the house of career here. This is the house of your reputation, how other people, like the public, sees you. Beautiful. That's like a perfect card to get in the 10th house, because that is the card of leadership. That strength card is associated with Leo, and this is about leading. So you're being seen as a leader. You're being seen as someone who is capable. You're being seen as someone to be admired, respected. And for a lot of you, you may very well be in the limelight here. And you know, you did pop up here. You started with the Sun, which is also another card of Leo. And remember, the first house is it's the first impression you make. So it's sort of related, where the 10th house is how you are seen from like a bigger public, but also how you are seen in your reputation as a whole, like fame and career. But it's not just career, it's like social standing, how people see you socially out in the world, where this is more like one-on-one interaction, how people see you when they interact with you one-on-one. But there's a relationship here with how other people are seeing you, and the relationship is Leo energy. That's independent, that is very capable, respected, strong, beautiful also, creative, joyful, like just a giver of life, right? And that's how you're being viewed. What a great card to get there. Okay, let's see what else we get. And we have the Four of Swords. And so this is a reminder, while you're going to be leading here. There's something you're definitely leading. There's something that you are influencing. This is like influencer energy, right? This is like being out and about, being seen in the world, possibly because, and you know, the travel cards could indicate things that you're doing online. Because remember, when we become influencers online, or when we are doing something for the masses, you are reaching other foreign lands potentially. You are reaching other cultures. You're reaching people from everywhere. So that in itself can be seen as these travel cards, right? For those of you who are not physically, literally going somewhere, it can just be that you are an influencer online, right? The reason Four of Swords came up is because this is a reminder that as much as people are going to hold you to a standard here in 2025, this is like how other people are viewing you, which tells me that other people are going to have an expectation towards you, Cancer. And you may already be feeling almost like the weight of that. Sometimes it can feel burdensome, right? When other people have high expectations of us, because if you're an influencer and you're out in the public realm, like people have, and an influencer doesn't have to be just social media, okay? Influencer in whatever work or whatever arena, whatever things you are known for in your world, Cancer. But this is a reminder that you need to be mindful of how much time you need away from being a leader, away from shining. Like the Four of Swords gives us permission to pull away from anything we're doing, to recuperate, to recalibrate, to heal from anything else that's going on in our world. And the Four of Swords heals in private. It heals slowly and quietly. And the Strength card is not necessarily quiet when we think of it related to Leo. However, it actually is, because it's a quiet strength, right? It's a quiet strength that the Strength card possesses. So while you're shining, while you're doing what you're doing, you're also being encouraged to have the strength to quietly retreat when necessary. People don't even need to know, right? This is for you. This is for your own healing, because you are going to be, there's a lot expected from you this year. All right, let's move into the 11th house. And the 11th house is about our associations, our networks, our friendships. It's also another house of social media. Let's see what we have there. But more importantly than anything, it's about, it's also hopes and wishes, manifestation, all of that. But more so, it's about friendships and community. Okay, you have the Two of Swords. So there could be something going on here in the realm of social media, your friendships, network, everything I already said, that's causing you some confusion, some angst. Almost like, I don't really want to deal with this. That kind of energy. Yep, that's what it is. So Six of Wands. Again, this is an influencer card. This is another Leo card, Cancer. This is what's going on. So you have a huge responsibility here in 2025 that's coming towards you. Some of you are already in that. And it's almost like the feeling of, this is great, I'm accomplishing a lot, but also the noise can create lots of confusion, right? So remember, 11th house is social media, but it's also friendships, right? And here you are leading the pack. You're either performing, and it could be a wish fulfilled for you, like maybe something that happened out of the blue, like a wish being fulfilled out of the blue for you. And all of a sudden, like, you know, when you work really hard towards something, whether you're a singer, an artist, an actor, an influencer, whatever it is that you're doing creatively, Cancer, all of a sudden getting attention, or in your work, all of a sudden getting the attention, like it happens so quickly, and the noise brings confusion, right? Which is why this card of rest here came up. It's like a reminder. You're going to need to unplug from the noise, because that's part of what people get, right? When we reach a certain level, there's a lot of chatter, a lot of noise, haters and competition and all of that. But here you got the three indicators of leading, presenting, being in the limelight with Strength, Six of Wands, and the Sun. And they're all connected here, right? So we're going to have to shut out, like, don't misinterpret, my beautiful Cancer, the confusion, the chatter, the competition, the noise with your abilities. You're going to need to separate those two. That's what I'm hearing. You're going to need to figure out how to separate. Like, these cards are almost identical. Performance, leading, rest. Performance, leading, you know, this confusion. These are both swords. It's so interesting. Okay, let's now move into your 12th house. Let's close this reading out. This is the final card. It's the 12th house. It's the house of the hidden. It's similar to the 8th house, but slightly different. Here it speaks about the things we dream at night, the things. It's also another creative card. House. It's also a house of spirituality. It may be a house of isolation at times. It's about our hidden talents, ancestry, all of that good stuff. And you got the Page of Wands. Actually, this should have been upright, because at one point my deck was reversed. So this is upright. Page of Wands in the 12th house. This is about developing in secret, beautiful Cancer, about developing a tool, a creative tool. And in secret doesn't necessarily, maybe that's not the right word. Let me try private, in private, hidden behind the scenes. That's what I mean. Although sometimes it can be in secret. Like, you know how sometimes we're not ready to tell the people in our lives that we have taken on a new course of study or that we're learning something new. Like sometimes we're just not ready. So for some of you, yes, it's secret. For others of you, it's just behind the scenes. And it's something creative. And again, the Page of Wands, look, all related to this other Leo energy. This is actually the Sagittarius card. But it is about honing in a skill, a creative skill. This could be a creative skill that you do physically. It can be artistically, creative, but it's about honing it. Also, the 12th house can indicate lands abroad, like overseas. So there's a little difference between foreign land, foreign people, because this could also include people, foreigners. This is about actual lands abroad too. So you could be learning something new to represent or to be able to do something additional for different lands that maybe you haven't done for before. But in any case, this also can just straight up just be something you're doing behind the scenes that is inspiring to you, that's uplifting, that, and really this is about, the Page of Wands is about doing something new, being the apprentice, learning a new artistry, but it inspires us. It's because we choose it. It's because we want to do it. And you may be doing it in secret because maybe someone has encourage you not to do that or not to add that to whatever you're already doing. And so you're sort of like, you know, I'm just going to do it anyway because it makes me happy. So I'm going to develop this skill behind closed doors. And Three of Pentacles, yeah. So you could be doing this behind closed doors, whatever it is you're working on. You know what I just got a thought of, and obviously it wouldn't matter here because it's for Cancer reading, but I just thought of, like, you know, when Taylor Swift, like I feel like this is her like working on Tortured Poets, like behind the scenes, working with other people, collaborating. No one has any idea that this is happening behind closed doors, and all of a sudden, boom, we have a new record, right? Like I just feel that energy for all of you because you're working, you have support here. Somebody's helping you, and somebody's helping you develop a strength that you may have maybe potentially felt weak in the past, but you have the necessary help, the mentors, the teachers in the area of this new thing that you're learning. So trust that, trust them, and know that you have all capabilities to make that happen in the way that you want to make it happen. Remember, we started with learning new skills here, learning new ways of communication. For some of you, this is actually singing. Now that I'm seeing all this, this is singing. For all of you, for others of you, this is influencing, right? Because again, it's the same topic, it's communication. So bottom line here, Cancer, the opening message really was right on the money here, right? This is going to be a year to develop yourself more fully, but you're going to be recognized. Be ready for that. You're going to be recognized. And a lot of you are already experiencing that. I'm so curious to know what this moving away is from, though, or what this is about, especially the 7th house energy. I'm going to get, you know what? I'm going to end with a clarifier on the 7th house. Please clarify 7th house energy for Cancer. Because it's like contractual, but it's also partnerships. Queen of Wands. Yeah. So it's about independence. And see, it came over. It's about gaining your freedom and your independence here. So whatever it is that you are antagonizing, not antagonizing, but like focusing on in private, reflecting on, researching on, that's also causing you some kind of anxiety, is because there's a partnership here that potentially is holding you back from something, or a contractual agreement that's holding you back from being fully expressive in nature. Because the Queen of Wands is fully expressive in nature, and the Page of Wands goal is to get to the Queen of Wands status, right? So there could be someone, for some of you, it has to do with agents, managers, people that help you creatively. And again, this can also be just, you could be in corporate or 9-to-5 job or your own business. There's a partnership here that's sort of holding you back from fully being your full potential, and you're aware of that. And so these two are related. All right, beautiful Cancer, I hope this was helpful. Please remember to subscribe and like. Please thumbs up. It's so important to thumbs up for algorithms. And I appreciate you. I hope this was so helpful for you. And I will catch you back here again for another reading. Bye.